Alright, I'm going to go over how to build a PC, right? From Newegg. The things you need and what you should look for and what it's important to actually look at while you're building it. You want to go to your socket, first of all. You want to establish whether or not you want Intel or AMD. If it's something else, then good luck with that. Right now, the current hype socket, the most supported socket, is LGA 1700. AM4? I don't think it's AM4 for AMD currently. I can't remember actually. It's been so long. And since we've designated LGA 1700 for our motherboard, you go in here to component storage, motherboards, Intels, and this page opens. You're gonna go to your LGA 1700. This is fundamentally the most important thing that has to be the same. And for 1700, I would like to say DDR5. But don't do that yet. We're gonna get our CPU first. Let's see, what is the best selling CPU? An i7? I would say this one, probably. The 12 core, 3.6. So add to cart. And we'll need a video card soon enough. We'll go ahead and pull up the video card. Let's just go for bestseller. The things you need to consider on the motherboard. Video card is that interface. PCI Express 16 times. This is what we want. I'm not sure PCI Express 5 is available yet. But this is what we're going for. I would recommend today, currently, a 4000 or 300. Anything else just isn't going to cut it, unfortunately. And what's bestseller? 4070, go figure. This is gonna be your best average card right here. Gigabyte, I was just looking at the 3060, not really the brand so much. Okay. Now that we have the cart established, it's the 12th gen 790. I already know this. Is the chipset? It's not X, it's a Z. My bad. This is the most current chipset for a motherboard, and that's why you're gonna see them at least $200. You wanna go to the Intel one? This is the 790 chipset brief. See, it tells you the Z90 chipset unlocks the 13th gen core desktop processors. Now, if you want a 13th gen instead of the 12th gen that we've selected, then you can actually go into your processors page, Intel, go over here. Go ahead and filter. I'm not sure actually if you can categorize it by generation. But anyways, as it is, 13th gen. You might have to go back there and select it again. Yes, you do. Processors. Intel socket, it should only be 1700, but we're gonna go ahead and filter it out. Now you're sacrificing a bit of the price for the performance. They are more economical processors. You can pick a motherboard and CPU combo if you'd like. I know it's pretty common, but that's gonna just about be it for the list. I want to stay under $400. This looks like the best deal right here. We're going for the i7. So, this is what we've gotten. If you want, see, right now, today, it is September, beginning of September, September 5th, 2023. The difference between these two CPUs, obviously the price, right? Almost $100 less. You're gonna save $100. But at that, when you come in here and you're pulling information for the chipset, oh my gosh, why is it not showing up? Oh, it's not a brief. We need the full... Intel chipset should be it. That's it. The architecture, specifications. The Intel Z790 chipset, product specifications. Right? So here we are. You can go over everything you need to know right here about it. The limitations of it, the USB, the PCI Express, which we're going to be on 4. That's what we've just gotten a video card for. This is the standard today, the standard. If you want to be an overachiever, you're going to get a 40 series. It was launched Q4, almost a year ago. 3 seasons ago, last December, which technically would be January, so it's only really 6 months old. Recommended customer price, $57. Displays supported for your maximum monitors, which this is all information that would be valuable to the person that is purchasing. Okay. So, why is it not showing something very important? Oh, compatible products. My mind just blanked out on this. So, you're getting a Z790 chipset, which if you want to, you can get, I don't know, X299 chipset specifications, maybe? You can put specifications, but it should come up. First one, look at that. If it's like, oh, we're gonna get something discontinued, 2017. I know it's all discontinued because it's what I'm moving away from, but if you want to get a really good deal and you're going with an older chipset, you can buy some of these processors used for like $100. And this is what is available for it. And you get all your information. If I wasn't changing chipsets, then this is what I'd be buying. Because it would most definitely outperform anything else. But the memory's being upgraded and like all sorts of stuff. So for the money, I'm going with Z790 chipset. Which the cash, we're looking at about 30 cash. To be able to sustain my current needs. Launch date, just a couple months ago, honestly. The i9. Go ahead and control find your i7. This one. You want to go ahead and compare it to $13 to the $12,700. Which one is it? The K. This one. We can compare the products too. Get all the information we need right here. Your basic price, which is just about $100 difference, is accurate enough. 16 core versus 12, which is not going to be significant enough to impact someone unless they're running a massive amount of stuff. The cache right here, 30 megs, that's where I want to be, so that's what I'm getting. It's slightly lower than the newer one, but what you're getting here is the performance dollar hour. We want to go to benchmark CPU pass mark. We'll just type it in here. Okay, that is it. Compare. $12,700K. Oh, okay, it's done. The balance bar thing over here, it's gonna give you your statistics on performance. Their LGA 1700, the speed, which is pretty much the same. This one's gonna be a little bit faster. Your cache right here. You can see the difference, 30 megs, 25 megs. Your power usage. Then here's your yearly running cost, which this is what you're paying for. You're paying for more balanced, more stable CPU. This one's still pretty stable. I mean, it's a good almost a year old. So, but at this point, the drivers and everything are going to be stabilized for it. And that supports integrated graphics. I'm not sure that this one does. I saw something about that earlier. Your performance is going to be 25% less, which, I mean, that's what you're paying for. You can look at your CPU ratings, your value. Obviously, that one has better value. Estimated energy usage. The energy's more of for like servers and like if you're building massively consuming systems. So here we are. We're gonna go with the i7-13. Over here, back to stuff. Oh, I guess new technologies are introduced. Which someone was just talking about that. The VTRP. And just for a gamer, that is, it does not matter. Because it's for legacy software. Running virtualization on legacy software. Stable IT platform program, trusted execution technology. That's just so lame. I don't know what it is, but it just, like, really. Total memory encryption. Threat detection technology. I might have to cancel my order and switch over. Intel Optane memory. Thermal solution specifications. I mean, the technology's definitely there. Oh, the new one doesn't support this stuff. Huh. That's crazy. Because I'm looking at them backwards. The 1300, which is 13th gen, and the 1200, 12,000, 13,000. Get it correct. The 13,000 is the 13th gen, while the 12,000 is the 12th gen. Makes total sense right there. I was looking at this one when I was doing my build, because I ended up buying a 12th gen. And I'm like, what the heck, is that like thermal compound that's recommended? But no, it's an actual fan. I mean, we can pull it up. That's what it is. It's nothing special. I guess if you're NASA or something. But that's crazy that the 12th gen supports all of that stuff while the 13th does not. But I guess with some updates. So the processor graphics, integrated processor graphics, which is when the motherboard has let's go ahead and filter to the ASRock. It's kind of like Asgard, right? You know, just for clout's sake, we'll go with the Sonic one. The integrated graphics, which you can't see because, oh well, I'll switch it over. Which is a graphics port, HDMI right there. If your CPU does not support integrated graphics, as this one seems to not, I'm not going to confirm that it does not, but here on the specifications chart, it does not. So, this one does, and it says it does. So this HDMI port, and there's a display port, will work on this one. You're launched, your max turbo power, which the 13th gen actually goes higher. The base power is the same on them both. But this one's going to be more economically friendly. Your yearly running cost and energy usage. Oops. Which, I mean, $10. It makes a difference when you're looking at a large scale setup, but For your average person, not so much, and I mean it's $10 over a year. Do you know how minuscule $10 over a year really is? I cannot quantify that actual value in my head. Like, something I spend $10, a domain name. It's the price of a domain name. Which, I mean, I don't have too many domains, but I have like 5 or so. So, I mean, thinking about that, it's like, I only spend $100 a year on domains management. Okay. Anyways, this is what we're going with right here. Let's go back to the CPU since this is what we're focusing on. We've decided that this is our best value. And we need to look at this one right here. That's where we're going to be ending up as our memory next. Memory right here. Okay. Me personally, if I was building a system from the ground up, I think it would be selecting the motherboard first. Just in all honesty. But, yeah, let's go for this. The ASRock DDR5 D790 Intel 1700 motherboard. This is what we've decided on. And your specifications and information is not always going to be available. So you might have to look it up from the manufacturer's website. ASRock, that's their website. Oh, I do not like that. But I guess it's for a mouse touchpad. That's everything we need to know. Specifications. The CPU supported 13th and 12th gen next gen Intel Core processors, LGA 1700. So our CPU is 100% compatible. It is the Z790. We've verified it back and forth. If you do not verify your chipset and motherboard and CPU, they will not work together. You might be able to fit one into a socket that others don't fit into. They might be compatible, which doesn't make any sense, but hey, let's just go with our monkey mindset of just shoving it in there and it somehow works. Comes on and boots up. It's not going to work through the chipset compatibility, which is Z790. Now we're on to the memory. What is supported? You've got memory, right? Going to the memory, component storage memory, desktop memory. These are the fundamental things that you need for a computer. Your DDR5 speeds. This is it. All of those will work. Will they? I'm not going to tell you that they are, but here it says for a 7000 megahertz overclock, it'll be 4800 natively. What I think that means, I'm not their manufacturer, I don't represent them, is that if you were to get 7200, which means that 8200 is not supported. This is your maximum supported on overclock, which is 4800 not overclocked. We're gonna go ahead and apply those both. 7200 and 4800. See right here, here we are. I actually want to filter out brands. Team group. I'm giving them a try. I've never went with team group. T-Force Delta. If you want flashy memory, you can get flashy memory or not. Let's play it safe, right? And go with the Elite. 4800. Which it says is 4800 natively supported. But if you're going back over here to the CPU, it's gonna say somewhere. I'm looking at the wrong thing. Am I? Huh. 56. Which is this one? Okay, so it does support overclocking at 56. I got confused because we go back in here and look at the 12th gen. It does not support that. Its maximum capability is the 4800. Now, I cannot tell you for sure whether or not this means 4800 natively overclocked at 7200. But by playing it safe, getting a 4800, this one, you know it's compatible because it says on the specifications that it is. Now see, the 13th gen one, it says 5600. So we know that we can actually get 5600 and it will work because it says it's supported and it says it's supported here. So 100% it'll work on the 13,000 series. Let's just go with that then. Since we verified it, I mean, you're along here with the journey, for the journey of exploring. T-Create. I mean, and it's $10. So, we have our foundation of a system here, ready to go. I mean, most people that already have a computer can get this and go. But we need a case for our imaginary build. It's not imaginary, it's real. Which case do you want? Asus? No. We want something with fans on the front, right? Oh. Before we get ahead of ourselves. Specifications. ATX. All the cases are ATX. Your form factor, we're looking at the case. ATX form factor, which is 12 by 9 by 30, if you want to read further into it. But technically, somewhere over here, you have your full tower, ATX mid tower. Micro will not work. Mini ITX will not work. Right? Because it's an ATX. ATX cube should work. If you go in here, sure, let's go for a cube. Let's just say we have the money for this. That's crazy. You have to go in here and look for the actual form factor measurements. Each manufacturer does it differently, so this says if you're buying fans, dimensions, weight. Micro ATX and just plain ATX, mini ATX, so it will work. It should work. If it doesn't, then take it up with their manufacturer for not having the actual measurements. But in today's age, ATX is just like a standard case. Which would be a mini, or not a mini, a mid-tower ATX. Which is what we're going for. It's your standard case. The one I have right here now, and the one that everyone else has. Let's go for price 75 to 100 bucks. How far has it filtered out? We've still got 7 pages. You can look at reviews, ratings, whatever you may like. I want to do Corsair, but I really don't. Thermal tank, this one. I mean, that kind of looks cool, doesn't it? I don't like the pigness of branding. That was not what we were looking for on audio. I don't like oversaturated branding. It's a pig. A pig wants to have everything theirs. So every inch of everything needs to be branded their brand. I don't know why this doesn't want to zoom, but the fans are branded, this, that, and the other. I mean, as much as I want this, that's the reason why I won't get it. Leon. Sure, let's go for this. That description's not very good. Radiator options. We're gonna consider that here in a moment. Right now, actually, we're gonna go ahead and pull up the page. Cooling. So when you go into cooling, you have your different options, and by radiator, it means this. You know what? We're just gonna go Corsair, right? That is the radiator. The thing that the water cooling runs to. So, let's just say that this is what we're gonna do. It supports 1700, LGA 1700. That is what this plugs into. Corsair's winning right now. As much as I don't wanna deal with Corsair, because the definition of Corsair is like some weird thing that I don't really like too much. I think it has to do with whatever. I won't get into it. Anyways, that's the case. The radiator options. It's under specification specs. Cooling system, fan options, and radiator options. Front, top. We want to top mount it. $360mm. Well, we would have to front mount it. Only 280 supported up top. Which would be that one. But because we don't need to spend too much time on going over this, it's 360. The front's 360, so we're good to go here. I think I've already spent way too much time going on about this. Maybe I'll refine the video later on. Okay, so this is the 360. I don't know why the top's not. But right here is where it's gonna be mounted. Did I add it to cart? We're going to now. New cart. Let's see where we're at. Yes, there's one in the cart. So it's an ATX case, mid-tower ATX case. The motherboard's ATX. That's how you know it fits in there. And the PCI Express is 4 and 16. We've already went over that. But right here it says PCI Express 5 by 16, which it's a later generation, which means it's still supported. And then the socket is LGA 1700. We verified that the memory is compatible on the product specifications page. We're on the maximum compatible, it says. You might be able to just plug in memory and go, but it's safer to actually look up what actually is compatible. So it would be DDR5 5600 or less. Anything below that will be compatible. Then we've got our verified case and radiator support. Let's see, what else do we need? A component, which is power supply. What brands are we working with here? Corsair, right? Gigabyte Team. Corsair's up there for leading. $100 is a pretty good average for spending on a power supply. Right here, it's a modular power supply where you don't have to use the cables if they're not needed. Which, that's what I recommend the most. 750 is your most common power supply wattage output. 1000 or higher, 1200, you're not going to really need it. You can probably get away with this one, actually, the 650. How do we determine? Well, if we go in here, a video card should have a demand power. Your biggest thing you're gonna know somewhere on here. This one does not have an additional port power plug. Let's see if I can pull it up on one of these other ones. There should be a plug on top of it, which they might not have. Mine definitely has it. PCI Express 4. Ports, display, outputs. Here it says you're recommended at an 850. Recommended, which means you can probably get away with less. Power connector right here, 1x16 pin. Sometimes manufacturers do not have specifications listed, but here on Newegg it's pretty common that it's good enough information. Your clock speed, which most of this stuff's irrelevant. $550 right there, so you're on the money for power supply. Power connector is an 8-pin, so normally you have your pins that mesh up, they line up next to each other, and two of the 8s will equal a 16 and plug into the power supply will plug into the video card. And so they normally are individually 8-pin, but two of them together is 16. So yeah, what I'm saying is we'll see tomorrow, I guess. Not tomorrow, but later. Let's say we wanted to actually push 650 recommended watts. This is just me getting curious. Since there's a 650, right? Since there's a 650 power supply, categories, and everything. Recommender watt usage. Boom! How delightful. We can get this thing so well tuned. Let's go with the AS Rock. Okay. So we're taking this out. And we're gonna go with the AS Rock. Phantom. I don't like mischievous named stuff. Huh. That's crazy. I guess we might not be getting one. Go back to the gigabyte? No. So you're gonna be spending $600 or $400? That's a 370. So over here at Passmark Video Card Benchmarks, you can compare your video cards here. Oh, it's so nice being in the top spot. I've never actually been on the top of benchmarking like I am these days. Ventus. Aventi? Oh man, if I were a video card manufacturer, I would totally name one Aventi. Okay, let's go ahead and say we want 16. No, we don't. That's too expensive. Is 12 available? It's just too expensive. We're gonna have to go with an 8. Zotac. They're very well known for being affordable. MSI, Asus. Let's go with an Eagle. Not have a cursed name in our system. Okay, so specs. PCI 4 and where's that? Oh, a 6 and an 8 pin, which should be fine. 650 recommended, so we're stable. This system is the most stable build I think I've ever done. I was just thinking that it'll need Windows. Sure, Home Edition will work, but we do not want the DVD. USB is what we want. Go back to the cart. Close the old pages because we're done with that. USB and remove the DVD. Okay. So our system powers up now. We've got our video, we've got our foundation. Your foundation is your memory, motherboard, CPU. It's the bare minimum you need for a system. Because normally they come with fans. They used to. I don't know if they still do. It's been a while since I bought a CPU. We're looking at $1,700. This is your average, just gamer PC build right here. My recommendation. T-Create. See, so nicely named. Corsair, IQ. Gigabyte Eagle. Or Z790 Sonic, which is just a little cute addition. I saw some dude do a video on it, so. And yeah, that's it. Besides that, you just need a monitor, keyboard, and mouse. Which is entirely up to you. You could go find a used one at your local recycling, computer recycling place. Peripherals, monitor. I do not recommend too high of a gaming monitor. Peripherals. What do I have? I mean, you could go with a full Corsair system. But no, I have a... Logitech. Okay. Monitors. Since we're going over all of this, I want to talk about it. How complicated monitor selection can be. That doesn't seem too bad. A 2K. Too bad it's got World of Warships on the cover. I do not endorse that game. I do not like it. But it's 32-inch, more or less, which I think is a little bit too big for a monitor. Let's just go for the LED. They should show gaming monitors here too. This is your sweet spot. 24 to 26. I think this is the best size of a monitor for someone to be gaming. There's not too much out of your sight. But the complications with it is being able to find a 4K. See? Which is, they're LGs too, which is good. Because I would say that LG is a better monitor brand. If you're going with, let's say you don't want to do 4K and go 2K. If you're going with some of these others, ViewSonic's a known brand, HP's a known brand, Samsung's a known brand, Dell's known. But you'll get in here, BenQ's just kind of not really. It's just not at the front end of it. Most of these are good. Lenovo is known. That's what monitor I have right now. There's a dead pixel in it too. Like, what can you do though? Really? You're talking about millions of pixels and there's one dead pixel. It's noticeable. It's annoying that it's noticeable, but you do not need a 170 hertz. I'm just trying to find one of these questionable brands. BenQ used to be a bit questionable, but I think nowadays it's kind of made its name. I know Amazon has them all over the place. I might have to get pretty deep into this. AOC, that's one of them. Spectre, that's one of them. It's like, you don't know what you're really gonna get with these. You're pretty much testing these products. NAC, I have no idea who or what that is. Pixio. Yeah, that's another one of those. Even though it's got, you can buy reviews, right? If you know where people shop to get their stuff, then you go on here and you have 500 people or whatever, and your standard reviews that are copied from other products. How to tell the difference between real and fake reviews are things that get into detail, like an actual personal experience with the product that someone can be like, oh hey, this is what happened, instead of, oh, it's the greatest thing in the world. Just your basic comment. Pixio's a brand that's trying to make itself known. I'm not against them. Planar, that's one of them too. I would say stick to Asus's, the HP's, the Dell's, ViewSonic, LG's what I got. Go back in here. I know you people are not gonna like this. That's $100 difference right there. We're gonna go with this one. Honestly, I would say they probably need it to be a 26-inch. 27-inch is like the sweetest spot. 28-inch is there. Anything past 28 is not recommended. It is not recommended by me. What was I gonna look at? Oh, our details. Your nerds are not gonna like this 60 hertz refresh rate, which standard people don't understand or know this, but your standard computer systems are based off of electrical standards, and 60 hertz is a common electrical standard for North America, while 120 is a standard for electrical, like your household electronics will be at 160 hertz. That's why they have different outlets. You will not notice a difference between 60 hertz and 120 hertz. Anything beyond that is just absurd. It's a marketing scam. See, right here. Power supply 50, 60 hertz, which means it's North America. 220, which will be others. Let's see if it actually says that's 75 is like acceptably. It's basically 60 hertz. Your system's still operating on 60 hertz. 170, let's go for this one. See, MSI Esports Gaming, it's just a marketed thing. Your skill is what's going to make the difference between winning and losing games. Your refresh rate is not. See? 50, 60 hertz. It's still a 60 hertz system. Even though it says it's higher, it's not. I mean, if you think about it, you can get away with it. It's not fake. They can really produce a 170 hertz refresh rate, but it's the system still operating on 60 hertz. So it's just a marketing scheme. A human being is not going to notice the difference. A bird or something might. Okay. Keyboards. I should have clicked on gaming, right? Because these are just standard. Cherry, never heard of it, but they're at the top of the list for some reason. This is what I got right here. Logitech G Pro. And if you want to, you can just go to the Logitech G website. It's my most simple peripheral recommendation. I mean, I really didn't want to see these people's faces pop up, but right here's your basic setup. You got your keyboard, mouse, headphones. These are the headphones I got. It's Pro. Keyboard I got. It's a Pro. Oh, it's just a custom Pro edition. And that's the exact mouse I'm using, except mine is wired. Wireless. I knew it would be wireless. That's keyboard I got. Well, I got the Pro keyboard, not the what the hell ever that is. I have the Pro headset. This one. That's exactly what I paid for it too. The Pro gaming mouse. That is exactly what I have right now that I'm using. So that's your input, output, user interfacing. Which you might find a better deal on their website, shopping around a bit. Or here, if you'd like. Then you have, with the monitor and the peripherals, you have a fully operating system with this added to the build. And that is going to be this hour-long summary of building a computer. This is shopping for. We're not actually building a computer yet. I'm going over the details and information for what you need to be looking at building a computer. Because I know in today's world, this is something I personally experience. It's just like you're buried in all of this stuff. Like, we'll go in here and look at this. I know what every bit of this means. But let's just say you're an average person that wants to build a computer. And it's just like, what is all of this multi-layer M2 heatsink? Like, blazing M2? Like, nicotine 12K capacity? I don't know what that means. VRM. I know that's a virtual machine something. Maybe. I'm not gonna dig into it. Because there's the whole I'm not gonna dig into it thing too. You could spend day and night looking into what all of this stuff means and endlessly getting lost in the internet of the waves of the internet of information. Waves of information on the internet regarding to what killer 2.5G networking is, or what USB 3.2 Gen 2x2 Type-C header is. Like, that doesn't really have anything to do with building your computer. Which the header is that. Which is for modern devices. I was gonna say Apple, but I know that it's a modern device thing, just in general. But that's our summary of our shopping for a build. With this information, you can build any system if you're looking at the right information. Okay, so what information is that? Finally, my in summary, your ATX case, which pre-request ATX case size is the motherboard ATX size, and the pre-request for the motherboard ATX, not the ATX, but for the motherboard LG is LGA 1700, and keeping in mind the chipset Z790. And then the video card, which is PCI Express 4.0, which is covered on the motherboard, and the power supply, which supplies this power goes to the motherboard and video card, which we've looked at the recommended power. And then the CPU, which that supports the memory's capability frequency. It's frequency. I'm not gonna try to come up with some new words for it. Your DDR 5600 is the frequency, which that's the maximum supported by the motherboard and CPU. They both work together. And then your Windows, and then your cooling system. And if I've missed anything important here, which I could have, please say something about it, because I mean, life happens, and this is just a virtually simulated shopping experience, because my actual purchase that I'm gonna go over on the build is coming up later this week, and it's just CPU, memory, motherboard. And it'll just be an upgrade video. Maybe I'll build a computer later, but yeah, we'll see about that. Yeah, don't forget to say something in the comments about what you think of this video. And if I missed something, that's the most important thing. If I missed something or didn't cover something or missed a detail, because, I mean, some of us are only human, and I don't know, we get distracted sometimes and forget about things. So have a good fall coming up in the next couple weeks.